Trump has signed a new executive order, and this update is already creating strong reactions across the country, especially among seniors, retirees, and people living on fixed incomes. The executive order focuses on dividend-style stimulus relief, and it includes approval language tied to additional payments that many people are now calling dividend stimulus checks, along with an extra amount reported as $780 added on top of existing benefit structures. This update matters because it connects directly to household budgets, monthly stability, and the way older Americans plan for essential costs like food, housing, utilities, and medical care. The goal today is to explain clearly what this executive order does, what it does not do, how it connects to existing programs like Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits, and what seniors should realistically expect going forward. This executive order is being discussed widely because it uses language that points toward dividend-style relief rather than traditional one-time stimulus checks. That distinction is important for understanding how payments may be structured and why the extra $780 is being referenced in headlines. Dividend-style relief is often framed as a supplemental payment connected to economic performance, federal revenue, or specific policy adjustments rather than a blanket emergency payment. This does not automatically mean recurring monthly checks, and it does not automatically replace existing benefits. Instead, it adds a layer of potential financial support that works alongside current systems. For seniors, the first and most important thing to understand is that this executive order does not cancel, reduce, or replace Social Security retirement benefits. It does not eliminate SSI, SSDI, or VA compensation. These programs remain legally separate and protected under existing law. Any dividend stimulus payment discussed under this executive order is designed to be additional support, not a substitution. This distinction protects seniors from sudden benefit loss while also clarifying that expectations must remain grounded in what the order actually authorizes. The mention of an extra $780 has caused confusion because many people assume it means an automatic deposit arriving immediately. In reality, executive orders establish authority and direction, but they do not always produce instant payments. Agencies must interpret the order, determine eligibility guidelines, align funding mechanisms, and coordinate payment systems. This process takes time, and understanding that timeline helps seniors avoid unnecessary stress or unrealistic expectations. The concept of dividend stimulus relief is being framed as a response to ongoing cost pressures rather than a short-term emergency. Rising prices for groceries, insurance, housing, and medical services continue to affect older Americans more than almost any other group. Fixed incomes do not adjust as quickly as prices, and even small increases in monthly costs can create serious strain. The executive order acknowledges these pressures and attempts to address them without reopening full emergency stimulus programs used during earlier economic crises. One reason this update has gained attention is the use of executive authority instead of waiting for a long congressional process. Executive orders allow faster action, but they are also more limited in scope. They must operate within existing laws and budget frameworks. That means the dividend stimulus structure must align with current federal programs and cannot override statutes that govern Social Security or Medicare. This keeps the system stable, but it also limits how large or how fast payments can be delivered. For seniors receiving Social Security retirement benefits, this executive order does not change monthly payment amounts already scheduled. Cost of living adjustments remain governed by existing formulas, and benefit calculations remain the same. The potential dividend-style payment, if implemented through agencies like the Treasury, would arrive as a separate payment or credit rather than being rolled into monthly Social Security checks. This separation matters for budgeting and for understanding how income reporting may work later. For SSI recipients, the situation requires special attention. Supplemental security income has strict income and asset limits. Any additional payment, including dividend-style relief, must be evaluated carefully to determine whether it counts as income or an excluded payment. Historically, many emergency or supplemental payments have been excluded from SSI income calculations for a defined period. The executive order language suggests an awareness of this issue, but final determinations depend on agency guidance. This is why clarity matters more than headlines. For SSDI recipients, the dividend-style stimulus concept operates differently. SSDI is based on work history and disability status rather than income limits. Additional payments generally do not reduce SSDI benefits. However, timing and classification still matter, especially for people receiving other forms of assistance. The executive order does not signal changes to disability eligibility or review standards. It focuses only on financial relief. Veterans receiving VA benefits are also watching this update closely. VA compensation is protected separately from Social Security and is not automatically affected by federal dividend programs. Historically, supplemental federal payments have not reduced VA benefits. The executive order does not suggest otherwise. That reassurance is important for older veterans who rely on consistent monthly income. The phrase approved in connection with dividend stimulus checks has been misunderstood. Approval at the executive level means authorization to proceed with implementation planning. It does not mean checks have been printed or deposits scheduled. Seniors should understand this difference to avoid confusion or disappointment. The government must still determine eligibility categories, payment methods, and funding allocation. The extra $780 is being described as an added amount rather than a base payment. This suggests it may apply to certain qualifying individuals rather than all beneficiaries. It may also be tied to specific economic or programmatic conditions. Until official guidance is issued, assumptions should be avoided. What matters most right now is understanding the structure, not the speculation. This executive order reflects a broader shift in how federal relief is being discussed. Instead of large one-time payments to everyone, policymakers are focusing on targeted supplemental support that addresses ongoing affordability issues. Seniors are central to this conversation because they are disproportionately affected by inflation and healthcare costs. Dividend-style relief fits into this strategy by offering support without permanently expanding entitlement programs. Another important aspect of this update is how payments may be delivered. In previous stimulus programs, direct deposit, paper checks, and prepaid cards were used. The executive order does not specify delivery methods, but existing infrastructure would likely be used to minimize delays. Seniors who already receive federal benefits electronically would likely be prioritized for electronic delivery to reduce administrative burden. This update also highlights the importance of accurate personal information on file with federal agencies. Address changes, banking updates, and representative payee arrangements can all affect payment delivery. While no action is required at this stage, understanding the role of accurate records helps seniors prepare calmly rather than react under pressure later. The language used in this executive order signals caution rather than urgency. That may feel frustrating to people hoping for immediate relief, but it also reduces the risk of errors, overpayments, or clawbacks later. Seniors have seen how rushed programs can create confusion, and stability matters just as much as speed. As discussions continue, it is important to separate confirmed policy direction from online rumors. The executive order exists, and it authorizes dividend-style relief planning. The extra $780 is part of that framework. Beyond that, details will emerge gradually through official channels. Patience protects seniors from misinformation and unnecessary anxiety. This update does not change Medicare coverage, premiums, or enrollment rules. It does not alter Medicaid eligibility directly. It does not affect SNAP benefit calculations automatically. These programs operate under separate regulations. However, additional income or excluded payments may interact with some assistance programs depending on classification. This is why careful implementation matters. For retirees who rely on careful monthly budgeting, the most practical takeaway right now is awareness, not action. Understanding that this executive order exists and what it aims to do is enough at this stage. No applications are required yet, no forms need to be filed, no benefits are being taken away. The broader message of this executive order is recognition. It acknowledges that many Americans, especially seniors, continue to feel financial pressure even as headline economic indicators improve. Dividend-style relief is one way to respond without destabilizing existing systems. Whether it succeeds depends on execution, clarity, and fairness. As more guidance becomes available, the focus will shift from authorization to implementation. That phase will answer questions about eligibility, timing, and interaction with existing benefits. Until then, staying informed and grounded in confirmed facts is the best approach. This is only the beginning of the explanation. The next part will continue breaking down how dividend stimulus relief has worked historically, how similar programs have interacted with Social Security and retirement income, and what seniors should realistically plan for in the months ahead.